What's up, YouTube? This will be part 2 of the LeeBoy 1000F. What the fuck's it called? Torque hub. I got it back from the hydraulic shop. They basically want to rebuild every single thing, and that would take up way too much time, more than money, but we don't want to be down that long, so the owner opted to get a new torque hub. So I got the old one back, and I'm going to, is it still recording? Okay, cool. I'm going to basically just assemble it here so everybody can see what it looks like inside. And here's the remaining bearing. Actually, I don't want to touch it just yet because I'm going to put gloves on in a moment. I got a magnetic base. I'm going to strap it down to this tank here, and I'm going to confirm that I have a good view of this wooden box that I'll be working on, and then after that it's hands-free. Yeah, so I'm just going to show you how to basically assemble it upside down. And here's a bucket of bolts. I hope you can see that because the screen keeps going black on me. I think that's doing that to save power. But somewhere in there, one of them cap screws or socket head cap bolts, the longest one is for it holds the planetary into that cover, and you can just handle that as one piece. It's supposed to be 3 bolts, but I only got one. The other 2 snapped off. I do have all 12 of the 9/16 bolts I talked about in the last video, and also got all 12 of the frame mount bolts. Those are 5/8. Okay, so I'm going to turn the thing back on. I'm going to clamp it right here. That should be a good enough view. I'm going to put my gloves on and get dirty. I'll try to narrate best of my ability as I go. But first I do got to locate that one bolt, that long socket head bolt. There's actually 3 different kinds of bolts in here. There's that one, actually 4 different kinds of bolts, I guess. Oh, I came back from the shop. I don't see it though. They might have misplaced it. I did have to go back to the shop. They forgot to give me, oh damn, it's out of my truck. I'll be right back. Got one part out here. They forgot to give me this outer planetary dish. I had to run back and get that. So there's a good possibility that they also forgot that one bolt that I had to hold the planetary to the underside of the cover, which would really piss in my Cheerios. For the sake of this video, not that I really need it in the long run. Yeah, damn. I guess I'll just have to figure out a way to get it done without that. Because all the rest of these socket head cap bolts appear to be too short. I believe they're for mounting the hydraulic motor to the torque hub. Damn. That really sucks. That bolt was one of a kind. Yep, that's not it. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Damn. And all that's left is regular bolts. I fucking did forget that one. Cork sucker. Well, I'll do my best without it. I'm sure I'm going to at least communicate some useful information. But essentially on the planetaries, there's 3 planetaries, 2 gears. Inside there's actually right here, these are push pins. You push them all the way in into the shaft, and then the shaft will pull out. Then there's a lock ring here, a lock ring here to keep it from spinning, and below that there's a washer that keeps there. Inside of here there's bearings, like roller bearings only. And we just put that back together. He gave it back to me without that assembled, and I figured out how to put it back together. That's why I know how to take it apart now. You hear them, they're kind of gritty. They definitely need to be cleaned. I could probably shoot grease in there through those holes. I'd never noticed those in between the high and low gears. But anyway, on top you'll see there's 3 alignment pins. Here's the remainder of the outer bearing that got all cracked up, and here's the remainder of the cage that sat on top of it, and everything else got ground down to chips or powder or whatever have you. But inside of here you'll see there's 3 sets of 2 holes. Obviously that is a bolt hole, that's a bolt hole, that's a bolt hole, and the rest are for the alignment pins. So you just have to situate it so that you could put the alignment pin in and have access to the bolt holes. Right there. Now if I had that bolt, at least one or all 3, I'd be able to bolt it in, and that would become one assembly. But when you're assembling this whole entire unit this way, you want to do it upside down. At least that's what I believe. And perhaps when I go through the process, it'll become clear why. But I tried doing it the other way with that big outer housing up on some wooden blocks with the spindle shaft hanging out below it, and it's still, I couldn't get it to mesh or seat. I can't remember exactly how, but I believe that's all the way down. So here's the outer planetary dish that goes on the planets, obviously. Where's the other shaft? Here's the outer shaft, the inner drive shaft. These are the splines that made up to your axle, and on it are supposed to be 2 sets of rings. This one is wobbly and sloppy as shit. In an ideal world I'd like to replace this, but I'll have to track down the proper bearing numbers and indoor race numbers, but we're not doing that right yet, so I'll save this for another time. But essentially this goes on one there, one there. Just the other way. Just kind of figuring this out in front of you. I'm definitely not a certified mechanic by any means, but I don't know, we'll figure it out, I guess, as time goes on. This drops down, line meshes with the planets, or no, it meshes with that gear. There's a smaller one, I forgot, I got ahead of myself. This guy right here is the one I was looking for. And also there's this thick washer that seats down in the what is it, the base of the 3-planet housing, whatever you call it. I don't want to pick the camera up and get it all filthy, but you'll just have to take my word for it that it's down there now. Actually, that's not it either. Damn, I'm all over the place. Well, let's try to get it down there anyway. Have to be able to mesh together decently. But you drop this inner shaft on there, it also has splines on it. I believe those are the splines that made up to the hydraulic pump. But you got to make them mesh with the 3 planets, the splines on those. And that's just giving me a little bit of hell right now. Maybe I can take this guy off first. Yeah, that's what I did yesterday. You got to get this shaft in first. There we go. And okay, now that's down, it's seated and meshed. I'm going to put the outer dish on there. It's possible that I might get a phone call and get interrupted from making this video, and then I'll have to just stop and re-record it later or tomorrow, because I'm going swimming at a friend's house and do some pressure washing over there too. So, but this ain't a real huge deal. Okay, now that meshed and went together. Then this main spindle meshes with that center core. And lastly, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about the ring. There's this ring, and I believe I only found when I took it apart there was a, oh shit, I fucked up again. Got to take these back apart, because this ring was supposed to go on first, but there's also this seal. I believe it sits down in that lip, and you know that you're not going to have metal on metal to hold oil, so you're probably going to have 2 seals, but I don't know, because the other one was missing. So I'll just put this one down in that little groove around the first and call it a day, because I don't have the other seal until I get a rebuild kit of some form to reassemble this torque hub correctly. It's not getting used anyway, but I am hoping to reservice it and potentially put it on the other side of the paver should that one ever fail, and we'll have a backup on stock. But I don't know, maybe this ring is stretched out, or maybe it goes on the upper side, but it's not seating the way I had hoped it would. It's actually kind of close right there. Alright, there you go, I got it to seat. Yeah, it's acceptable. Now it's actually looking like slightly smaller. I'm just going to run with it. And put the ring on, the spacer ring. Trying to line up the holes. That went on. Now back to the outer planetary dish. And you remembered how the fight that I had to get the teeth to mesh correctly. I'm back to doing that again. So I got to cut myself. Procedure, but oh well. This thing weighs probably about, I don't know, about 25 pounds. There it goes. There it was. I thought I had it. There we go. Now we can put the main guy back on there. Remember, this is supposed to have 2 bearings on it. I don't know if they're pressed on or if they're held on with a snap ring. There is grooves in there. It looks like it might be held with a snap ring. And I actually hope that it is hollow with a snap ring, because when we get the new torque hub, I'm going to try to talk the paver owner into letting me disassemble it just like this, so that I could install it on the paver piece by piece, me and the paver operator. Because this next piece is the heaviest part. And I would like the ability to remove this main axle spindle from it. But this is the part that mounts to the frame. I hope this box will crush. These are the mount bolts. This emboss goes right through the frame. I assume it carries a lot of weight. And when you're removing the torque hub from the frame, you could probably either press up against this or press up against bolts, like I said in the previous video. I'm trying not to crush my feet. And that's it. That's the whole thing. I think it probably weighs close to 300 pounds, maybe 250, not entirely sure. But once it's assembled like this, then you can go ahead, flip it over, put the bolts on the underside, the 9/16 bolts, and that'll hold the entire unit together if you want to install it as one piece. Like I said, I think we should install it piece by piece to have the best chance of managing the weight. But that's it. It's not real complicated inside. They do want you to use thread locker on these bolts. Probably got to use thread locker on every bolt. But obviously you don't want them all gunked up. You want them thoroughly degreased and cleaned, so that way your thread locker actually locks. I'm just putting these in here to keep everything orderly. Now that I know that I need 3, not 2 bolts for to hold the planetary in. And that's pretty much the end of the video. I'm just letting it run in case anything pops into mind that I think would be useful to help next man out. I know the length of the socket head cap screws for that hold the planetary are 2 1/4 inches long. Damn, they jipped me on 2 bolts. I hope I got them here somewhere. There's 2 missing. And there's yeah, I think they might be over at the paver, but I'm not entirely sure. And these guys right here that hold the hydraulic pump to the torque hub, I believe that's 1.5 inches, and the other ones are 2 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and put them back in the bucket. And wrap this video up. And now that there's more than enough information about the torque hub, more than I had, that's for sure. And this torque hub definitely has a seal. There's a brand new seal. And here's the old one that walked off. We actually had to cut it with a grinder to just get it off. I mean, we didn't have to, but we chose to, for whatever reason at the time. But that's all I got to say on this, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. Go home and upload it. You guys have a great day. Still recording? Cool.